Hi, my name is Savannah Martinez, and this is my disposition self-assessment video for my assignment here at GCU. I'd like to start off with the dispositions that I believe I possess as a successful teacher. I like to think that, I am a successful teacher. This is my sixth year teaching kindergarten, and I absolutely love it. I think that the disposition that I possess the most and have rated it at number 10 is definitely compassion. I feel that I have a lot of compassion for my students just simply because you never know what their home life entails, what they're coming into into your classroom with. And I feel like for me, this is one thing that I really take into consideration even before starting my day. My favorite thing to ask at the start of each day was, how was your weekend if it's a Monday, or what did you do after school? Or, just trying to make sure that I understand what the child's life is like after hours, not just while they're with me. And so I love to have a lot of compassion. I like to keep informed and up to date with what's happening in their life, keep in constant communication with their families, just so that I can make sure that I'm having those conversations and showing empathy when needed. Um, the other, disposition that I believe I also possess as a successful teacher is high expectations. I do teach kindergarten, but that does not mean, and I always tell parents when they ask to meet with me before their students in my classes, I do hold them to a high standard because I want to make sure that when they leave my classroom, I am setting them up for success to be the best that they can be in first grade. I want to make sure that they have all the skills, all the traits, everything that they need to be for me to be able to set them up for success in their next class. Kindergarten is a very foundational year, and so that is why I make sure that I am constantly communicating the high standards that I set for my students, not only to my students themselves, but also to their parents, making sure that I always give them reasonings as to why we do what we do or why I expect what I expect out of them. And I think that that's very important. The third, I guess, highest disposition that I believe I possess as a successful teacher is fairness. I believe it is very important to be fair all across the board with every single student because, fairness really is treating all students the same equally and ensuring that every student is set up to be successful. Um, I think that fairness it creates equal opportunity for every single student to be the best that they can be. And so I believe with those three, especially dispositions, I believe that anyone can be a successful teacher. The dispositions that I need to work on the most. Um, I would definitely say starting strong at the one I need to work on the most is respect the diversity of others. Not because I don't have respect for the diversity of other people, but I have always taught in a Christian school and I've never really had a lot of, I guess, um, I've never really had a lot of experience with diverse cultures and different things like that. And so I think that that's something that I would love to be exposed to. Um, just just I love to learn about different cultures when I can. So I think that having respect for the diversity of others, I I feel as though I do very well with it, but I that's something that I definitely would love to work on. Just because again, I have not had a lot of exposure to have those conversations and stuff like that. So reflection, is the practice of regularly scanning one's actions and stuff and things like that. So I feel a lot of times I get so busy and caught up in the day to day that I don't take the time to reflect. And I think that that is something that I really need to work on um, as a teacher. So I definitely need to work on a little bit more of reflection. I think that going back to school has kind of helped me. Curiosity as well, the desire to learn and explore beyond all what is required. I know that each year we have certain PDs, classes that we have to do. as my role as an educator currently. And oftentimes I've struggled with completing those, but I know that they have to get done. But I want to be able to get to the point where I am pushing myself further and further into learning. And obviously going back to school has helped with that a lot, but also just having that want to just constantly learn and venture out and do things, not just because I'm required to do them. And so I would love to definitely grow in that area of curiosity for myself. I think that educators should definitely have a lot of compassion, high expectations. I think I said this a little bit already, but in fairness, I think that all of these dispositions are great things. Dedication is another big one. Just being dedicated, not just doing it for a paycheck, but doing it because these little lives are in your hands, and it is your job to teach them to be successful in life and creating that next generation that's gonna grow up and just to be, you know, great human beings of society, being those wonderful members of society, I guess I should say. I think that that all stems from the teacher's dedication as well. And just believing in the students, advocating for them, making sure that your students have all that they need, speaking up when you need to. That is one thing that I absolutely will never back down on is when I need to advocate or speak up for my students. That is one thing that I will definitely do. I love to advocate for them just because they are especially at this age, they are 5 and they don't always get speak up for themselves. But I think that professional educators definitely should display those things. Just being compassionate when needed and advocating, being a voice for them. So, but yeah, this is my disposition self reflection video, and thank you for watching.